Hey there guys, this is your host Richard with another marvelous video. Although considered to be one of the most ridiculous things to come out of Mortal Kombat, the TV show Mortal Kombat Conquest did expand on the lore, and the one thing that made it enjoyable was the series of fighters in the show who fought tooth and nail to get what they wanted. While some were good, the others were insanely evil. But all of these men and women were awesome. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's explore the 29 major fighters from this series. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but to us it means a lot. Thank you. It's begin.
Not as clever as this.
The great Kung Lao. First things first, Mortal Kombat Conquest wasn't really a part of the canon storyline, but since it was a prequel to the 1995 film, it's a pretty important installment among the fans. Paulo Montalban plays the great Kung Lao, who's not just the protagonist but also an ancestor to Liu Kang. How do we know? Well, it was mentioned in the film. Mortal Kombat was a thing even in his days, and hence he trained his entire life to prepare for the tournament. Having said that, this guy grew up in the Temple of the Order of Light, and the village was one that lived in peace and harmony. The temple, or shall we call it the monastery, had scores of extraordinary martial artists who taught stuff to Kung Lao that many would think was extraordinary. By the time his training ended, he was undeniably one of the best fighters that the monastery had ever seen. Kung Lao soon left the monastery and started working at a trading post called Zhu, which was owned by the Raylan family. Here, he also found himself in love with this Raylan girl called Jen Raylan. He'd go on to make a living out of defending the innocents and all those he cared about from the murderers from the outworld. But tragedy struck when Kung Lao lost Jen. Her death became one of his two biggest regrets, the other being showing mercy to Shang Tsung, the miserable and despicable sorcerer. Nevertheless, Kung Lao continued to fight against evil with Jen's former bodyguard named Siro, and Taja, who used to be a thief. As far as his fighting style is concerned, there's hardly a weakness or any kind of limit to what he can do, which is why he was able to defeat Shang Tsung. Additionally, his defense is as good as it gets. Shang Tsung. Believe it or not, Shang Tsung wasn't always the evil sorcerer we know today. Way back, he was actually a warrior for Earthrealm. In fact, this guy was living the dream. He was in love with a stunning woman named Unmatched and trained under the legendary Master Cho. Cho saw massive potential in Shang and was set on making him Earth's greatest fighter and Mortal Kombat champion. It was from Cho that Shang picked up his sorcery and magic skills. But all good things come to an end. On the day of his first Mortal Kombat match, Shang was crushing it until his opponent made a comeback. Since he was about to face a certain defeat and maybe death, Shang used a spectator as a human shield who died instantly. This act of treachery got him thrown into the Cobalt Mines by Shao Kahn, the Emperor of Outworld. What Cho didn't know was that Shao Kahn was plotting to turn Shang against Earthrealm itself. Kahn secretly taught Shang the art of soul stealing, which made Shang practically immortal. After his so-called release from the mines, Shang rejoined Master Cho, who was thrilled to have him back. But during an attack by thieves, Shang shattered Cho's trust by stealing one of the souls and thereby gaining immortality. With Omagus' help, Shang poisoned and buried Master Cho alive. After the deed was done, he ditched Omagus and vanished through a portal. He left her behind. Well, that's what you get for helping a minion of Shao Kahn. After losing to Kung Lao in the last Mortal Kombat tournament, Shang Tsung found himself back in the Cobalt Mines. There, he met Vorpax, who seemed like an ally but turned out to be a spy for Queen Kriya, leader of another realm. After escaping Kriya's warriors, Shang fled into the forest, where he now roamed free. Dude now enjoyed his newfound freedom, the open spaces and fruits that were rare in the mines. However, his thirst for souls is insatiable. Like a vampire's hunger for blood, he attacks and kills anyone he encounters. By the time anyone finds the bodies, Shang is long gone. Shang Tsung is one of the most brutal and ruthless fighters in the series. His speed and quick thinking give him a major edge over his opponents. He consistently makes the right moves at the right time. However, if he gets too heated, he can lose concentration and get sloppy. Raiden. In the MK universe, Raiden is the god of thunder, and that makes him one of the most crucial people in the franchise. Born from two elder gods, he shares a complex history with his brother Shao Kahn. Thousands of years ago, Raiden and Shao Kahn were forced to battle for the family throne. Raiden managed to defeat his brother but couldn't bring himself to kill him. As a result, neither ascended to elder god status. Instead, Raiden became the god of thunder, and Shao Kahn was banished to rule an evil realm, which eventually became Outworld. As Shao Kahn's power grew, so did his ambition. He discovered he could invade other realms and add them to his empire, which would allow him to build a vast dominion across galaxies. But to conquer Earth, his final prize, Shao Kahn must win 10 consecutive Mortal Kombat tournaments. Raiden is Earth's protector, and needless to say, he's far from a pushover. Though a tyrant in his own right, he's more restrained compared to Shao Kahn. Every generation, Raiden selects warriors to fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament and guides them, but there's a catch. He doesn't directly aid them, as interference is forbidden until the sacred rules are broken. The current champion, according to Mortal Kombat Conquest, is Kung Lao, who defeated the Outworld sorcerer Shang Tsung in the last tournament. Raiden supports Kung Lao, along with other Earthrealm warriors, Siro and Tarja, whom I spoke about earlier. Raiden often appears out of nowhere to offer hints and clues to help them, but never the full solution. This he does in order to avoid jeopardizing Mortal Kombat and his role as Earth's protector. After thousands of years of experience and goodhood, Raiden's combat skills are legendary. His attacks are devastating, powered by pure electricity, enough to make even the strongest fighters look weak in comparison.
Shao Kahn, conqueror of realms, an emperor of...
Shao Kahn. As I mentioned earlier, Shao Kahn was born to the Elder Gods and was destined for greatness until his parents did boom boom again to make another god baby, Raiden. Growing up, the two brothers were pitted against each other in a fight for the family throne and the status of Elder God. Raiden won the battle but spared Shao Kahn's life, which he probably shouldn't have. Anyway, Raiden was named the God of Thunder and Protector of Earthrealm, while Shao Kahn was banished to rule the wasteland known as Outworld. This was a desolate and pretty weak realm, but Shao Kahn was relentless. He slowly gained the trust of the citizens, built a formidable army, and began conquering other realms. Eventually, all realms fell under his control, except one, Earthrealm, which was under Raiden's protection. The Elder Gods intervened and established the Mortal Kombat tournament as the battleground. And of course, if Shao Kahn could win 10 consecutive tournaments, he'd be allowed to invade Earth. In the last Mortal Kombat tournament, Shao Kahn's plans were thwarted when Kung Lao defeated his top sorcerer Shang Tsung, ensuring Earthrealm's safety for another generation. When it comes to raw power, Shao Kahn is unmatched. One punch from him can leave any opponent trembling. Even Raiden struggles to rival Kahn's sheer strength. However, all that muscle makes the ruler of Outworld pretty slow, which makes him vulnerable unless his opponent is already worn out. Siro. Growing up, his dad pushed him to constantly compete with his younger brother, Kasa. It got to a point where they were always at each other's throats in their attempt to prove who was better. When Siro got engaged to a woman named Hannah, he thought he'd finally won. But plot twist, Hannah and Kasa were secretly in love. Devastated, Siro left his family behind and struck out on his own. He ended up in the city of Shujin, where his fighting skills caught the eye of Baron Raylan. The Baron hired Siro to be the bodyguard for his daughter Jen. Siro, being the badass he is, was the toughest fighter the Baron had ever seen. One day, while guarding Jen, they were attacked by bandits. Siro kicked their asses and captured one of them named Tarja. She was handed over as a slave to the Baron. Things changed when Siro discovered Jen's secret relationship with Kung Lao. The Baron banned Kung Lao from seeing Jen and sentenced him to death. Just as Kung Lao was about to be executed, Tarja escaped, and with Jen's help, they fought off the Baron's guards. But in the chaos, Jen was kidnapped by Scorpion, a half-man, half-demon assassin who was after Kung Lao. Siro, Tarja, and Kung Lao teamed up to rescue Jen. Kung Lao faced off against Scorpion and defeated him, but tragically, Jen was killed in the process. He's stubborn and aggressive, which can be annoying, but is also a huge asset in battle and a valuable ally to Kung Lao, given his vast experience and skills in fighting. Siro's main combat technique is his powerful kicking. His kicks are so devastating that they can knock anyone out cold. He can throw a mean punch too, but his kicks are what you may call his signature move, but his attacks can get repetitive and predictable in long fights. Tarja. As a young girl, she was part of a family of travelers. They weren't rich, but they were happy. One day, while the family was setting up camp in a forest, Tarja wandered off exploring and never saw them again. From that moment, she relied on her wits and became a skilled thief who was willing to go to extreme lengths to survive and didn't mind sneaking into palaces if necessary. As she grew up, she honed her thieving skills and learned to fight, essential for any thief who didn't wish to get caught. When she teamed up with another thief to rob Baron Raylan's daughter Jen and her bodyguard Siro, the latter defeated them and arrested Tarja. She was sentenced to work as a slave for the Baron. Meanwhile, Kung Lao, the latest Mortal Kombat champion, was in hot water with the Baron for his romantic interest in Jen. But I've already spoken about most of this stuff in the previous entries, so I'll just get to her combat skills. Tarja's fighting style is unique but has its limitations. She's not as athletic as some other fighters, which sometimes puts her at a disadvantage against top-tier opponents. So she just knows enough to get out of trouble from guards and regular humans, but when it comes to fighting real warriors, she's disgustingly outmatched. Although she's decent with punches, let's not even talk about her kicks.
Sends his best.
Vorpax. Vorpax is actually quite an intriguing character in the show. She's the firstborn daughter of Kriya, a queen with ambitions as grand as Shao Kahn's. Kriya's mission is to conquer realms by personally traveling to them and mating with a male from that realm. But the secret to Kriya's mating affairs is that she doesn't just give birth to a couple of kids. She spawns an entire army of female warriors. Vorpax was the first warrior Kriya gave birth to. In her world, all the women are Kriya's offspring and inherit her formidable combat skills. It's the women who fight the wars, not the men. When Kriya discovered Earth, she sent Vorpax to scout it out. Unfortunately, Shao Kahn got wind of her and threw her into the cobalt mines of Outworld. There, she met sorcerer Shang Tsung, who treated her like dirt. Despite being a top warrior, Vorpax was no match for Shang Tsung's dark powers. Forced to play along with his schemes against Kung Lao, Earth's Mortal Kombat champion, Vorpax did Shang Tsung's bidding to keep her true identity secret. But things changed. Kriya's army of female warriors attacked the cobalt mines, freed Vorpax, and captured Shang Tsung. Though he eventually escaped and fled to Earthrealm, Vorpax remains loyal to her mother. Now, she helps Kriya plan their attacks, although their progress is stunted by Earth's defenders destroying their hives. Vorpax's fighting style is almost like watching a ballet. Graceful, fluid, and unpredictable. Her arms swing wildly and keep her opponents guessing. She's incredibly light on her feet, and moves with silent elegance. But her main drawback is her lack of strength. Yep, the girl isn't very strong. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was initially just a regular guy who lived a peaceful life with his family. However, his family was attacked by a band of ninjas who took him away, only to leave behind a trail of heartbreak. These ninjas were from the Lin Kuei, a clan of superhuman assassins. They brainwashed young Sub-Zero, erasing memories of his past and subjecting him to brutal training. As he grew from a child to a teenager and eventually a man, he became a fierce warrior. The Lin Kuei named him Sub-Zero after recognizing his ability to summon and control freezing energy. Of course, this power is a super deadly weapon that he uses to freeze his enemies to pieces. Anyway, Sub-Zero became a top agent for the Lin Kuei and did all the dirty work for his masters. In fact, he's even embraced death for the cause that he was fed. Eventually, he betrayed the Lin Kuei to side with Earth warriors to take down Scorpion. This betrayal made him a target for many, including the Emperor of Outworld, who wanted him dead for disrupting his plans. Even the Earth warriors kept the distance from the super ninja. Now, Sub-Zero is on the run, with no allies and countless enemies. His former companion Smoke has been sent by the Lin Kuei to hunt him down. But Sub-Zero is far from defenseless. He's a cornered fox, and cornered foxes are dangerous. Sub-Zero's combat skills are nothing short of legendary. He adapts his attacks to the situation and his opponent. His punches are stiff, his kicks are powerful, and his all-out assaults have the potential of turning fatal.
Get over here!
Scorpion. If you've reached this point of the video, I'm sure you're aware of how feared and relentless a fighter Scorpion is in the Mortal Kombat universe. He was once Takeda, a prisoner in the cobalt mines of Outworld. Shang Tsung granted Takeda some serious power upgrades and tasked him with killing the Mortal Kombat champion Kung Lao. Things didn't go as planned though. He wanted to lure Kung Lao into a trap using his lover Jen Raylan. But when Kung Lao had Scorpion on the ropes, Jen tried to finish him off. Scorpion retaliated with a fireball, which killed her instantly. Enraged, Kung Lao delivered a final blow and sent Scorpion into the depths of hell. But of course, Scorpion had no intention of staying down. Currently, Scorpion is building an army of warriors from Earthrealm. His hidden lair is a fortress of strength that grows more powerful by the day. He personally tests each warrior in combat and decides their worth based on their performance against him. His goal is to create the mightiest force in existence that could be capable of wiping out the Earth warriors, annihilating Shao Kahn's forces and getting revenge on Sub-Zero. So, a lot on his checklist. He basically wants to rule the universe. Scorpion's combat style is pure aggression. Once he starts attacking, he doesn't stop until his opponent is down. While he may not use as many acrobatic moves as other fighters, they're just as impressive as his primary tactics. Mileena is a top-notch soldier in Shao Kahn's army. Her combat skills are second to none, and that's why she's a favorite of the Emperor. However, most warriors can't get past her hideous face. Her low forehead, crooked teeth, squinty eyes, and wrinkled skin have made her an outcast among her peers, who often underestimate her strength and intelligence. But Shao Kahn saw potential in Mileena and came up with the plan to use her against Kung Lao. Using his magical sword, Shao Kahn captured Princess Kitana's reflection and transferred it to Mileena's face. The Emperor promised Mileena that if she could assassinate Kung Lao, she'd be allowed to keep her newfound beauty forever. Meanwhile, in the cobalt mines, Vorpax reported this plan to Shang Tsung. Shang, being Kung Lao's archenemy, wanted the satisfaction of killing Kung Lao himself. He threatened Mileena and warned her that if she succeeded in killing Kung Lao, he'd kill her in return. When Kung Lao saw Mileena, he believed he was looking at Kitana. Mileena had numerous opportunities to kill him, but Shang Tsung's threat kept her from from acting. Just when she finally mustered the courage, the real Kitana showed up and stopped her. After losing to Kitana and failing her mission, Mileena's beauty spell broke, which left only the top half of her face intact. Shao Kahn was disappointed but not entirely unforgiving, and sent her back to the army with a mask to hide her disfigurement. She still gets summoned by the Emperor for various tasks, and her new looks get her more attention than before. However, she harbors a hatred for Kitana, the pretty girl who destroyed her dream.
A new trifle of yours.
As I said, we have no secrets.
It was you that sent the...
Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot hails from the Netherrealm, the darkest, most desolate realm of all. It's a hellscape filled with corpses, half-dead bodies, demons, and all sorts of nightmarish creatures. Somehow, Noob Saibot has managed to keep his sanity in this demented place. His origins are murky in the show, but he's one of the most powerful warriors in the Netherrealm. Noob Saibot has this uncanny ability to hop between realms, and he's equally deadly in each of the realms. To him, each universe is the same, just another place to spread fear and chaos. His emotions are pretty basic: anger, bloodlust, and a sick sense of pleasure that he can't shrug off. What makes Noob Saibot even more terrifying is his composition. While humans are 70% water, Noob Saibot is made from shadows, toxic chemicals, ashes, and oil. In the show, he's basically the ultimate mercenary, and anyone with enough power and the right amount of cash, or some other weird form of payment, can summon Noob Saibot to eliminate their enemies. When it comes to combat, Noob Saibot is a nightmare. He fights low to the ground, which makes it easy for him to roll and dodge attacks while making it hard for his enemies to land a hit. He's got a dizzying array of flips, twists, and rolls in his arsenal, which helps him in landing unavoidable attacks.
Why have you brought me to this terrible place?
Kitana. Millennia ago, Kitana was born in the beautiful realm of Edenia. Not much is known about her father, the king, but her mother was Queen Sindel. Her parents created a unique self-defense style for their people, which Kitana mastered and personalized by adding her iron fans. She became one of the deadliest fighters in Edenia. But let's not oversimplify things. You see, every citizen in Edenia was trained in combat. So if I say that she was the best among all Edenians, well, it means something. In fact, Edenia's strength came from its people. Foreign invaders were shocked to find that every bystander could defend themselves. Combined with Sindel's army, Edenia seemed unbeatable. But then came Shao Kahn, who invaded Edenia. Cities fell, people died, and Edenia was left in ruins. Kitana survived, but she saw her father's suicide and her mother's sacrifice. Her friend Rain was lost in the chaos, and only her companion Kali stayed with her when Shao Kahn captured them. Surprisingly, Shao Kahn decided to spare Kitana and adopted her as his own child. While she despised her new stepfather, she was grateful to be alive. Still known as Princess Kitana, she helped Shao Kahn's prisoners, and in return, they taught her new martial arts moves. Over thousands of years, she became even more dangerous. When she tried to use the essence of Edenia to resurrect her people, her friend Kali tried to stop her because she was actually working with Shao Kahn. Though Kali failed and seemingly destroyed the essence, Kung Lao came to her with it. After this, Kitana and Kung Lao became close allies.
I want to see you clearly to remind me of what failure looks like.
Look at me!
Quan Chi. Quan Chi also comes from Netherrealm, which houses denizens similar to him. You know, foul spirits, wretched warriors, damned souls, those kind of people. Quan Chi is a sorcerer of immense power, who thrives here driven by his lust for wealth and valuables. His day job is destroying the strongest warriors across realms and selling their souls to those with deep pockets. This led him to resurrect 3 deadly female assassins, Cyan, Sora, and Mika, whose sole mission is to kill for him. For years, these 3 undead warriors served Quan Chi well. They collected souls and racked up kills. But everything changed when they faced Kung Lao, Siro, and Taja. Even with a potion that messed with their will, Quan Chi's assassins failed spectacularly. That defeat is a sting Quan Chi won't ever forget. Now, licking his wounds in a hidden forest lair, Quan Chi is plotting his comeback. His assassins still obey him, though their occasional defiance drives him to dole out punishment. Furthermore, he's been betrayed by Shang Tsung and falsely accused of plotting against Shao Kahn. Naturally, Quan Chi's rage is at a boiling point. He's stronger and more powerful than ever, and is steadily building an army of undead warriors. Rain. Rain was once a proud citizen of Edenia. Here, Rain served as a guard in Sindel's palace and had a close bond with Kitana. But Shao Kahn did his thing and conquered Edenia. Kitana's parents were killed, and in the chaos, she was separated from Rain, who would not see her again for thousands of years. Desperate to survive, Rain joined Shao Kahn's army. Now, Rain is one of Shao Kahn's top officers, often sent on deadly assassination jobs. The thousands of years spent in Shao Kahn's service have drained him of the emotions that once defined his shining soul. Rain's combat style is pretty impressive, if not the most unique. His attacks inflict lasting pain that wears down opponents over time and breaks their focus and composure. He starts fights with basic moves, but as the battle progresses and as opponents start to lose their cool, Rain shows what he can really do and finishes opponents in style. Reptile. Reptile comes from the ancient realm of Zatera, home to a reptilian race that evolved from the mindless dinosaurs of the past into a sophisticated civilization. For several millennia, Zatera thrived independently, but the rise of Shao Kahn changed everything. Khan's quest for dominance weakened Zatera, and even though Reptile is its rightful ruler, he finds himself under Shao Kahn's oppressive thumb. To avoid trouble, Reptile begrudgingly follows Khan's orders. But Reptile isn't one to give up easily. He's forged an alliance with Queen Kriya and hopes to breed an unstoppable army. By combining his reptilian strength and Kriya's offspring, he plans to overthrow Shao Kahn and reclaim Zatera's independence. Reptile's combat style is generally focused on speed and precision. Like a rapid-fire machine gun, he gets in close and unleashes a flurry of blows. Of course, he's incredibly nimble and technical and is capable of slipping out of tight spots and counter-attacking in the blink of an eye. Reiko. Reiko is one of the most dedicated, if not decorated, generals in Shao Kahn's army, and his loyalty to the Emperor is nigh unshakable. In Mortal Kombat Conquest, Reiko serves as a military messenger. He's the eyes and ears for Shao Kahn and delivers crucial updates about the happenings in Outworld that Kahn can't see from his throne. Reiko's allegiance comes to light especially when he meets the armies of Kriya. When Kriya's Amazonian forces start pushing into Outworld territory, Reiko engages and fights them. Paran. Paran, played by Josie Davis, is Scorpion's sidekick. She made her debut in the 15th episode of the show and is a skilled assassin. It was Paran who killed Sub-Zero's younger sister Lisa by impaling her through the back with a knife. Sub-Zero, in a fit of rage and grief, grabs Paran by the neck and freezes her to death before shattering her into pieces. It's hinted that Takeda, the man Scorpion uses as a host buddy, had a past with Paran. She vanished from her home the day Scorpion took over Takeda, and while it's unclear if she knows or cares about Takeda's fate, she's fiercely loyal to him. She even stands up to Shao Kahn in his defense. Siro points out that Paran wasn't a popular lady in her neighborhood, which means that she was probably a criminal or murderer. Kiri and Anka. Kiri comes from an ancient race thought to be extinct for millions of years. As a half-reptile, she has some really cool and unique abilities that set her apart from other warriors. But she's got another ability, her beauty and charm, which are just as lethal as her fighting skills. She initially tricked the Earth warriors by posing as a seer, after which she led them straight into a trap with her assassin, Noob Saibot. Then she came back with Anka, only to claim allegiance to the all-female army under Emperor Kriya. This only added to her mystique and unpredictability. Currently, Kiri is with Reptile, and together they're on a mission to restore Zatera to its former glory. While Kiri's attacks might not pack the heaviest punch, her endless repertoire of flips, twists and bends leaves her opponents confused. Omages. Omages once had it all: beauty, happiness, and a loving relationship with none other than Shang Tsung. Shang was set to be Earthrealm's next champion in Mortal Kombat. Master Cho was a sorcery guru, from healing magic to dark arts. Omages was on a quest for eternal beauty and immortality, but Cho kept the secret potions recipe from her. Of course, Shang Tsung's first Mortal Kombat match was a disaster. He broke the rules and ended up captured by Shao Kahn, who taught him soul stealing. Later, Omages poisoned Master Cho for Shang. As Cho fell, he cursed them both with his dying words, "Achieve what you seek and be forever cursed by it." They buried Master Cho alive, but Shang soon betrayed Omages. Now, Omages lives deep in the forest, cursed with immortality and eternal beauty, but plagued by loneliness and regret. She spends her endless days with her herbs, oils and potions, and yearns for mortality or death. She's a bitter recluse who welcomes company but snaps if anyone asks for help. Omages rarely fights, but when she does, she relies on her gymnast abilities. Her martial arts skills might be limited, but her slow yet powerful flips and rolls can do significant damage. Kali. Kali was a lot like Jade, known for her close friendship with Princess Kitana. They trained together under Shao Kahn, but Kali's family was slaughtered by Shao Kahn, and although Kali stayed loyal to Shao Kahn, she's secretly hoping to help Kitana restore Edenia. Shao Kahn wanted the essence of Edenia, something that could bring Edenia back to life. If he got it, he'd destroy any hope of Edenia's revival. When Shao Kahn forced Kali to choose between him and Kitana, she pretended to stay loyal to Kitana but planned to betray her. Kali helped Kitana search for Mortal Kombat champion Kung Lao in the hope that he'd help them find the essence. Soon, she revealed her true allegiance to Shao Kahn and criticized Kitana for clinging to hope for Edenia, which Kali thought was a lost cause. Kitana was furious at Kali's betrayal and ordered her to return to Outworld and tell Shao Kahn that Shang Tsung had destroyed the essence. This betrayal ended their thousands of years of friendship. In the episode called The Festival of Death, Kali was forced to host a fighting festival under Quan Chi's orders, which was meant to raise an army of undead for Shao Kahn. The festival was a trap where the best fighters were killed and reanimated as undead warriors. Kali hated being involved in the plan and fought with Mika. Kali had to abandon the festival and was warned by Mika never to cross her again. Kali disappeared and was never seen again. Number 21. Jola. Jola is a part of the Black Dragon clan, a ruthless underground organization run by her father, Banak. Her older brother Cabral is set to inherit the throne, and this drives Jola crazy with jealousy. She's bitter, and the throne means more to her than Cabral might realize. The trading post, owned by Kung Lao, Siro and Tarja, yep, the same one that Baron Rayland once owned, rightly belongs to the Black Dragon clan because the Baron lost it in a gambling bet. The Black Dragon wants their property back, but the three warriors didn't wish to give it up without a fight. So, where does Jola fit in all this? Well, she wants to take the post by force and secure her place as the Black Dragon's heir. She taps into her family's ancient dangerous powers, so she turns to the sorcerer Shang Tsung and they strike a deal. She gets the powers if she kills Kung Lao. Of course, she doesn't hesitate. Now that she had the abilities of the Black Dragon, she murdered her father and brother before heading to the trading post to eliminate her enemies. During her fight with Kung Lao and Siro, she's unstoppable, so much so that she fails to control her powers. But you know what? Shang Tsung had warned her that this could happen. When her own powers start to drain her life, Shang Tsung transports her back to the cobalt mines, strips her of her newfound abilities, and imprisons her there until she learns to control them. So, yeah, without the Black Dragon powers, Jola's skills are limited, but with them, she's a juggernaut. Tomas. Tomas often just shows up out of nowhere, so he's basically one of the most mysterious warriors in the show. No one knows much about him, except that he was trained by a top-tier martial arts master, who, by the way, remains nameless. This master prepped Tomas specifically to take on Outworld in the Mortal Kombat tournament. Once Tomas was deemed ready, his mission became clear to him. He was to find the legendary Kung Lao. The idea was that together they'd be an unstoppable force against the bad guys from Outworld, and if Kung Lao had a squad of other warriors, even better. But Tomas's time with Kung Lao was pretty short. The day he arrived at the trading post, Shao Kahn got wind of it, and the Emperor framed Tomas for the murder of 2 innocent women. When Kung Lao heard about it, he went after Tomas, and the two engaged in a fight. Well, because it's a Mortal Kombat story and every episode needs some action, right? Just as things were heating up, the real killer Reptile showed up, killed Tomas and vanished back into the shadows. Whoops, Tomas was a beast in combat, no question. Even Shao Kahn admitted that Tomas might be more skilled than Kung Lao. But yeah, the writers didn't want someone stronger than Kung Lao and morally right to stay any longer in the show. Smoke. Another mysterious warrior from the show is Smoke. No one really knows who he is or where he came from, but what we do know is pretty intense. Like his old friend Sub-Zero, Smoke was taken as a kid and turned into a warrior by the Lin Kuei. While Sub-Zero can control ice, Smoke's got his own equally lethal tricks. Over the years, he mastered the ability to transform himself into black smoke, which makes him a master of disguise. This guy can literally become part of a candle's flame or merge with an inferno. Later, Smoke went on a mission to hunt down Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero might have the code on his side, but he can't match Smoke's ability to blend into the shadows. This makes Smoke a fairly unpredictable pursuer. Sub-Zero can run, but can't really hide when Smoke is on his tail. Master Cho. Master Cho lost his family and home in an Outworld invasion and dedicated his life to training fighters to defend Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat tournaments. Cho somehow lived for centuries, not by some elder god's blessing, but by draining the life force from others. Thankfully, not their souls. This dark secret kept him alive but also kept him out of the tournaments, thanks to the Elder God's strict rules. Master Cho's latest star students were Shang Tsung and his lover Omegis. Cho taught Shang the arts of combat and sorcery but kept the secret of eternal youth to himself. Shang couldn't resist, and after betraying Master Cho, he absorbed his first soul. Shang and Omegis turned on Cho, and with his last breath, Cho cursed Omegis with immortality. Centuries later, Vorpax freed Master Cho. Fueled by vengeance, Cho hunted down Shang Tsung. The master didn't take much time to defeat the student and steal his youth, which left Shang Tsung an old man. But Cho needed Omegis to truly finish his revenge. Cho offered to train Kung Lao, but Tarja was suspicious. Her doubts were confirmed when Cho was caught stealing a life force. Kung Lao saw Cho was no better than Shang Tsung, so he cut ties with him. Eventually, Cho was defeated and imprisoned once again by Shang Tsung, and Omegis freed Master Cho once more, as this time she was seeking revenge against Shang Tsung. Edenian Warrior. This Edenian warrior, whose name we sadly never learn, appeared in the 20th episode of Mortal Kombat Conquest. He's from the same realm as the servant girl Maya and served the royal family of Edenia, including Princess Kitana as a loyal guard. Played by Mike Christopher, this dude was a skilled fighter, deeply dedicated to his homeland. The last time we see him, he's in the torture chamber of Shao Kahn's palace. The Shadow Priests, Kahn's loyal sorcerers, are grilling him about hiding Queen Kriya and her army. After getting threatened, the Edenian warrior breaks free and fights the priests. He puts up a good fight, but eventually he gets overpowered. The battle ends with hot coals burning his face and him getting impaled on a blade from a chair during the scuffle. Catwoman. Catwoman is the fierce guardian of the hidden city of Shakana. When Kung Lao, Siro, Tarja and Dion get too close for comfort, she attacks them at the city's entrance. Dion, not wanting any part of the chaos, bolts for cover the moment she shows up. Catwoman's got skills and holds her own against all three fighters for a while, but eventually the trio's teamwork proves too much for her and she's forced to retreat. She might have made a quick exit, but a brief encounter with Kung Lao and his crew left a lasting impression. Xian Mika, and Sora. These three deadly ladies from the Netherrealm, Xian, Mika, and Sora, are Quan Chi's trio of resurrected assassins. Originally lifeless corpses, they were brought back to life by Quan Chi's dark sorcery, which transformed them into beautiful yet deadly warriors. These master manipulators and expert fighters are fiercely loyal to Quan Chi, though he doesn't show them a lot of respect and also threatens to return them to their previous lifeless states if they fail him. Despite his threats, it's clear he sees value in keeping them alive. I mean, without them, he'd not be half as powerful as he is. These ladies have tangled with some serious contenders, including Kung Lao, Taja, Siro, and even Shao Kahn. Xian is the strongest, and she's successfully taken down both Kung Lao and Shang Tsung. Mika is good against normal warriors but struggles when it comes to top-tier fighters like Kung Lao. Sora is the weakest link and she often gets easily overpowered. But their real strength lies in their teamwork. In the episode Flawed Victory, it's hinted that Mika has feelings for Quan Chi. While he seems to recognize her feelings, he mostly sees her as a tool for his schemes. It kinda reminds me of the relationship that Harley Quinn and Joker share. The final episode, Vengeance, introduced a fourth assassin, Silene, who met a grisly end at the hands of Shao Kahn's shadow priests. That was all in this one. And hey, do hang around for content on all things awesome. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.